Hello and welcome to T-Breezy's kitchen, or T-Breezy's living room right now. Oh my god. Okay, take two. Hello and welcome to T-Breezy's Whoa. I just noticed my legs were in there. Okay, take three. Hello and welcome to T-Breezy's kitchen, or T-Breezy's living room as of right now. Today we're just making some super simple granola. Yeah, there's not much to say. Love granola. Fuck. Okie dokie. Hello and welcome to T-Breezy's kitchen, or T-Breezy's living room as of right now. Today we're just making some super simple granola. It's very fall, so it felt fitting of the current season. One thing, I mentioned this in my voiceover, but one thing that I forgot to do was add salt. Salt really, like, it brings out flavor. It's not just in and of itself a flavor. So that is my number one thing that I did not do in this. It's super customizable. I used honey as a sweetener, but you could use literally pretty much whatever. You could use brown sugar, I think would be great. Coconut sugar. I'm not really a big coconut person. I use coconut oil in this, but in general, I'm not a big coconut person. You can't really taste the coconut. You could use coconut sugar, maple syrup. We're not really a big maple syrup family, so the little bit that I use in there, that is the only maple syrup that we had in our house. You could use some nut butter in it. You could add peanuts, walnuts, whatever. I think it's kind of hard to mess up granola. Make sure you're using a oven cozy, whatever, when you pull your granola out of the oven. I mentioned this in another video, but you can use like a hand towel, like a kitchen towel, but you want to make sure that it's not wet, because if it's wet, it will burn you. So that is a little safety tip. And practice knife safety, keep your fingers away from the blade as much as possible. And yeah, it's hard to go wrong with granola. It can be such a good gift, like homemade gift for people, especially this time of year or with the holidays coming up. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong. I did cranberries and orange in mine, and it's very festive. It's kind of more holiday-y than fall-y, but I'm not really mad at that. So yeah, we'll just jump right into it because I've already spent more time yapping than I planned to. Okay, and so yeah, first up, we're gonna set our ovens to 350, and then we're gonna add oats to a bowl. I think that I ended up doing around 2 cups. I don't know, I was kind of loose with the measurements. And then I had some almonds, which I just kind of chopped up roughly. They don't need to be super fine, but you also don't want them to be super chunky. And then we had some chopped pecans, so I just went ahead and added a few of those to the bowl. Here I'm adding some chia seeds and then some ground flaxseed. You could totally do whole flax, but we had ground. Here we've got some honey. This is kind of what I use as my sweetener. You could totally use coconut sugar or maple syrup, but I just really like honey. It's a little bit crystallized, but that's totally fine because you mix it up and it goes in the oven and it kind of spreads. I was kind of really struggling to get it off my finger, but then I added some more. Okay, and then I added some coconut oil. You could also use avocado oil if you want it to be a little bit more savory. Here I'm adding some vanilla extract. I did about a spoonful. And then this is some almond extract. I just really like the flavor of almond. And then I did probably half the amount I did for the vanilla. I'm adding some cranberries here because they're delicious, so why wouldn't you add them? And then I also did some Bang cherries. These ones they're bigger than the cranberries, so I kind of just roughly chopped those again. Make sure when you do what I'm doing here, where I'm pushing it off of the knife, go away from the sharp part of the blade and don't cut yourself, please. And then I zested an orange. I just had a sumo orange. It worked totally fine. You could use a regular orange. Obviously it's an after. Get all of that zest out from underneath the microblade. And then this is some nutmeg. Add a good amount in there. And then you should also add salt. That's one thing that I forgot to add. It brings out flavor. Here I'm adding some cinnamon, just a really good amount. It doesn't look like I'm adding a lot, but I don't have a thing on it, so a lot was coming out. And then also some ginger. This just keeps it pretty fresh and like light. And then I'm just mixing it up here. I'm kind of mushing out those honey crystals, like the chunks, so that it's a little bit more evenly distributed. And then you kind of want it to like look like this. It's kind of oat heavy. I totally could have added more dried fruit, more nuts, but I kind of like oat heavy granola. And then here I had some pumpkin spice maple syrup that was kind of dying to be used in this. So I just finished it off. I think we've had it in the fridge for a while, so nobody's gonna miss it. And then I just mixed that right in there, and then I added it to a baking sheet, which here, make sure that you use some parchment paper. You don't want the sugar, like the honey or maple syrup or coconut sugar, brown sugar, whatever you're using, you don't want it to get stuck to your baking sheet, because that would suck to clean. And then you also want it to be sticking to the granola, not the sheet. So use some parchment paper and just mush it out kind of into an even layer. Stick it in the oven, and then you're going to set your timer for 20 minutes, which is what I'm doing here. However, I took it out at 10, and I kind of pressed down, here it's ready, but I kind of pressed down the granola to help form those chunks a little bit, kind of like I'm doing right here. I did it also at the end, obviously. I just forgot to film it in the middle. And then it should kind of break up into little pieces and chunks like this. And yeah, you want it to cool for about 45 minutes, but then you'll be ready to do what I'm doing here, which is just breaking up that sheet of granola. And I'm sticking it into an airtight container so I can store it for as long as I need, which probably won't be long because we kind of eat a lot of granola. We'll go through it fast. And that's it. Okay guys, that's really it. I hope that you enjoyed watching that. If you try this, please let me know. Let me know how you make it your own. Something that I think could be really fun is using olive oil instead of coconut oil, and maybe a little bit less sugar to kind of make it a little bit more savory. You could use it as on top of a salad, if you know how candied walnuts are really good on salad. It could be a slightly sweet, crunchy little, I don't know. Granola is just so versatile, whatever. It has a lot of versatility. And yeah, that's really it. I hope that you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you the next time I post.